everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, your libertarian car guy. We're here on a rainy, bleak, late December afternoon, and I'm doing a little walk around here of this 2015 Cadillac CTS sedan, which has been slightly tweaked for the new model year. You might notice a difference in the Cadillac emblem from previously and a new grille. But aesthetically, those are the major changes for 2015. The CTS was all new last year in 2014. The big changes for the current model have to do mostly with electronics. The car now offers in-car Wi-Fi, and it's got an upgraded automatic parking system and a number of other little gewgaws and gadgets that are kind of cool. I think it's a really nice-looking car. It's a little bit bigger than it used to be. Though the back seat is still a bit smaller than what you get in the BMW 5 or the Mercedes E. What's kind of interesting about this CTS and Cadillac generally is that, as most people who follow the car industry know, Cadillac used to kind of be the old geezer's car, the codgermobile, and BMW used to be the athletic driver's car, the sporty car. And the roles have kind of reversed. This car, the CTS and Cadillacs in general, are now among the sportiest luxury sport sedans on the market. This car comes standard with a 272 horsepower turbocharged 2.0 liter engine, and that's a lot stronger than the current BMW 5 Series base engine, which is also a 2.0 liter engine, but only makes about 240 horsepower. That engine is the same engine that you'd find in the 3 Series, which is of course less prestigious, smaller, and lighter. So this car performs better than the BMW, not just in a straight line, but also handling-wise. It's one of the best handling cars in the segment, and who would have ever thought that you would say something like that about a Cadillac? I've always liked Cadillacs, but Cadillacs have always been kind of about big, boozy, cruising touring cars. That's absolutely no longer the case. A couple of other points to mention that's interesting about Cadillac. Cadillac, at least at this moment in time, no longer sells a V8 in a passenger car. The CTS used to offer a version of the Corvette's V8 in the CTS V, and it made 556 horsepower, and it was one of the bar none quickest sedans and wagons that you could get. That's been at least temporarily backbenched. Apparently GM is going to bring out another CTS V for 2016, but at the moment for 2015, the engine lineup in the CTS consists of the base 2.0 liter engine that I've already told you about, the step-up V6, and then the performance engine in the V Sport, which kind of takes the place of the CTS V temporarily, which makes 420 horsepower and has twin turbos. So it's less powerful and only slightly less fuel inefficient. Still, it's a hell of an engine lineup. As in other cars in this segment, you can get this car with rear-wheel drive, which is standard, or optionally all-wheel drive. The one exception being the V Sport, which only comes in rear-wheel drive, but does get an upgraded 8-speed automatic. This car comes with a 6-speed. Let's move around and take a look at the inside of the car, show you some of the details there. I think it's got a very slick-looking, attractively laid out cabin. Going to show you some of the details now. Bear with me as I sit in the car. Cadillac, as you'll see this scroll up here, taken a cue from Mercedes with a complete flat screen cluster. I'm going to turn the car on for you, and you'll see that the instrument cluster is entirely digitized in LCD, and it's very similar to what you'd find in an S-Class Mercedes. Very attractive, very functional. I like it a lot. Now, on the other hand, over here we move over to the console, and we look at this, they call it haptic, which means that it's touch sensitive. So you touch it and you swipe it to get it to do things. And when you touch it or swipe it, you get some feedback back in forms of little clicks and thumps coming through your fingers and so on. And it's a great looking slick concept. The problem is it's a little bit awkward to use. You know, you slide it, and sometimes it catches and works well, but I find that other times it doesn't, so you find yourself pushing and swiping again. And also it's a little bit, you're moving while the car is moving and your finger's moving. I had the same complaint, incidentally, about that Ford Mustang I reviewed last week. All of these systems, there's less to hold on to touch than if you had a knob. You could physically touch the knob, and even if your hand is moving a little bit because the car is vibrating as you move, you can still easily turn the knob and so on. This makes it a little bit more difficult. So I'm not the biggest fan of this stuff right here. But that is really the only complaint that I can level at this car. Otherwise, it's very, very attractively laid out. Let me turn the engine off here and show you the back seats again. It's a little bit less roomy, but only slightly less roomy than the BMW 5 and the Mercedes E. Both those cars, incidentally, also offer diesel engines. That's another thing that Cadillac does not currently offer, at least not in this particular car, in addition to the temporarily backbenched V8. And something else to mention as well is that this only comes in a sedan, at least for the moment. Both the wagon and the coupe have been temporarily pulled from the roster, and that might put the car at somewhat of a disadvantage relative to both the BMW 5 and the Mercedes E, because both of those cars are, of course, available with wagons as well as the diesel engines. But the take-home point here is that this Cadillac is the car to go to if you're looking for high performance and luxury in the same car. The others in this segment have become increasingly kind of staid and comfortable. They're very fine cars, but they're no longer as much hellraisers as this Cadillac. So color me impressed. I dig the thing a lot, and please post your comments, your feedback, and so on up at the site. Again, it's epautos.com. The article will be posted shortly, and we'll catch up with you the next time.